for President campaign.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching the show this week. We're always here every Thursday at 5 o'clock on the NowMedia Network. You guys can watch us a variety of different ways. We appreciate you following along with us. On today's show, we talked a lot about short-term rentals, Airbnbs. It's a great asset class. It is a place. I operate short-term rentals, and we do very well from a return standpoint on the short-term rentals, but you have to be different. That's the one thing that I want to add to kind of top off, this show today, was that if you do want to get into the short-term rental business, you got to be unique. You got to be responsive to the guest. You have to focus on getting 5-star reviews to have a successful business that you're going to play into the algorithm. The Airbnb is going to promote you over all your competitors. So that's my 2 cents on short-term rentals and Airbnbs. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys reach out to me directly. If not, we'll see you next week. Thanks again for watching the show.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Welcome to Biz Talk on NowMedia Television. I am your host, Rachel Weaver, and I am excited to have with me today Stefan Whitwell. Stefan is an exceptional individual making waves in the business world. He is the driving force behind Whitwell Advisors, bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. Stefan, it is such an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to dive right into the topic of investment math.
Boy, that sounds scary at first, doesn't it?
It sure does, especially if you're not someone who likes math or taxes or any of those kinds of things. Anything with the word math in business, a lot of people run the other way, especially if you're a creative. But it's something that really is important for us to face and talk about, especially when we think about our future of ourselves, our future of our businesses, our future of our children. So I have heard people talk about the math of investing. For us, non-mathematicians, what's the most important things that we need to understand to be good investors?
So I think two of the most important concepts when it comes to investing are, number one, keep it. Number two, grow it. So let's look at the math behind each of those separately. So when I say keep it, I mean the importance of protecting your capital. And when we talk about risk, what is important to understand about risk is the likelihood of permanent loss of capital. What risk is not is simply variation in prices, right? So prices can move all over the place, but if the underlying company that you have invested in or the underlying asset that you bought is still sound, then your investment is still working for you. So one of the reasons we're going to start with keep it is the fact that the way investing works, losses are asymmetric. Now that's a mouthful. What that means is that if you lose money, you have to earn more than you lost to make it back to break even. So I'll give you two simple examples. First example is if you have $100 and you lose 20 and you now have 80, in order to get back from 80 to 100, okay, so that first loss was 20. But to get from 80 back to 100, you actually have to make 25%, right? So you have to make more than you lost to get back to break even, which means you got to work harder and your money has to work harder. And that makes your job harder to grow your money. A more extreme example, but maybe not so extreme because the stock market has fallen over 50% multiple times. If an investment falls 50%, how much does it need to grow to get back to break even? And the answer is 100%. So $100 falls to 50. How much does that 50 need to grow? If you lost 50 to get back to 100, it has to grow 100%. So you can see how when you take big losses, you have to work that much harder. So the bottom line on that is it's important to be cautious and to be smart about your investments, right? So that's what I mean by keep it. And one of the most basic ways to do that is to just do your homework. Make sure you really understand what you're investing in. So that's number one. Number two is make it. Let's make more money. So we often hear about compounding, right? We've heard that word. And here's kind of a really funny but not so funny example that's real life to today. So before this show, coming on here with you, I looked on the homepage of Wells Fargo, and I see that when you click on their check rates page and you put in my zip code in Texas, that the very first interest rate that they give you for putting money in a savings account is 1 basis point. That is 1/100th of 1%. So let's say you want to put in $100,000 and you want to grow it to be $200,000. At that interest rate, it would take you 6,923 years. Not good, right? Somebody's benefiting, but not you. So if you scroll further down, they then have fancier account names, and the next one offers 29 basis points. So if you think about that's like 1/3 of 1%. But even though that's a slight difference, right? It makes a big difference. So 100,000 to turn that into 200,000, instead of 6,000 years, it's now 239 years. Obviously, one of the punchlines there today is be careful about putting your money in a bank because there's risks that you may not appreciate about that. And if they're not paying you a good interest rate, it could take you a long, long time to hit your goals. By contrast, if you're investing your money and you are able to make 10% per year, then it will only take you 7 years to double your money from 100,000 to 200,000. And I don't know about you, but I think 7 years is a lot better than 6,000.
Absolutely. Whoa, that was a lot of really good information. Especially when we talk about compounding or making more money, because that's something that I know for a lot of us sparks our attention really quickly when someone says how to make more money. And really, the money we're making, how to make that work harder, faster, and grow without us actually working harder, because there's a lot of us in today's world that are working super hard, who made what used to be a really good living off of what we made. And today with inflation, people are struggling. So this is really important information. So pay attention to all of you out there.
Yeah. And one of the takeaways is even little differences over long periods of time can make a huge difference. Right. So that's where I gave it's crazy that you have savings accounts that are being offered to people at such low interest rates, but even just a 28 basis point difference in return makes a huge difference over long periods of time, right? In that crazy example of real life today, put $100,000 in an account. The difference between one rate getting from 100,000 to 200,000, difference between one rate and a slightly better rate is a difference of 6,000 years. And I'm, it's hilarious to think that, that they would offer rates so low. But that's why you have to be careful, right? You've got to understand that even small differences can make a huge impact on your wealth. And it's easy for us to just put it off. Oh, I'll do that next week. I'll do that next month. Oh, I'll do that, and next thing you know, it turns into years. Yeah. So keep your money invested, working hard for you. Because like you said, Rachel, we all work super hard to make the money we make.
Yes.
It's your job. If you're watching this today, it's your job to make sure that you know how much interest you're getting. And if you're not getting a good interest rate, then reach out to somebody, get some advice, and take action. Put it in an account that's going to be making more money for you. Or I've seen this too. If you have investments that you're not checking, well, check it, right? Your homework today is to go look at your statements and say, hey, what kind of returns have I been making? Because if you're not making good returns, then you need to do something about that.
Super valuable, important information. And I know a lot of people say, well, I have nothing left. But I know, especially if you are a business owner, there are many ways that you can start going through things and saying, why am I paying for this? Or even the biggest one, oh my goodness, it was so eye-opening for me the last week, is realizing, we hear about credit card processing, people who pay with credit card, and those fees are typically 2.9%. All of us think those fees are 2.9%. But the truth of the matter is, if you're paying 2.9%, you are paying way, way too much. There are many smaller credit card processing companies that are not small. They're worth billions, but they're just not as loud as like Stripe and all the big ones that are out there. And their fees are a fraction of that. So you better believe I found a way to just save myself a lot of money, and I'm going to turn around and invest it back just as though I'm learning through you, Stefan. So thank you.
Well, and you can save it both directions, right? So as a business owner, like you said, you can find a better payment processor. But I recently found a company that's offering credit cards that instead of giving you points, gives you money back that gets automatically invested in stocks.
Oh.
And over time, that just keeps adding up. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. And I've seen something similar with crypto as well. And I just think that anything you can do to immediately start putting your acorns to work is super smart. Like you said, on the business owner side, on the consumer side, it adds up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of this great knowledge for everyone. Where can our audience find you to continue compounding their money?
I love it. Yeah. Give me a call. You can reach us at 512-766-7775, or just shoot me a note and say hello. Let me know what you're up to or what areas are interesting to you that you'd like to learn more about. Stefan, Stefan, that's F as in freedom, no PH, please, at whitwelladvisors.com.
Thank you so much, Stefan. We look forward to having you back again very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, it's Common Sense Solutions. Millions walk around every day with a voice inside their head that says, the system is making my life difficult. Government's job is to serve, support, and back up the needs of all Americans. For decades, we have lived, no, we've been held hostage by the tyranny of the law. Laws are like paper cuts. Too many, and we die. Together, we will repeal thousands of pointless, oppressive laws. Compassion, collaboration, and common sense solutions guide our team. A government reset is needed. What is the price? Your vote. A few dollars. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com. Find the donor box button. Donate your tips or whatever you can. Team America needs you. Together, we will make America work for everybody.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver. I am excited to have a very special guest with us today, Maurice Hamilton. Maurice is our cybersecurity expert from Infinivate. He has been on the show before, and we are so excited and happy to have him back. Maurice, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So today I am excited to talk to you about how do IT managed services provide small businesses with access to expertise that they may not have in-house?
Excellent question. So, Rachel, when we look at it, we saw the onset of intelligence last year with Chat GPT, and that really took off. Although that's not really new, but it really took off last year because people now realize that they can use it for like marketing and a lot of different other applications. We also see that people can actually use onshore and offshore resources to try to like help improve the efficiencies of their operation. So now when we think about managed services for it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that, especially since you mentioned something like cybersecurity, where people can actually use our company to maximize their productivity and improve their security and actually use different experts that may be available in the arena of managed services because it's like bringing on somebody that's not a W-2 employee, so you can save a lot of money, has a lot of great benefits to bring on someone using managed services.
Wow. Great information. Can you elaborate on how managed services can help businesses implement new technologies that are effective and efficient?
Yes, I think the biggest factor is something that we all have, but we can never buy any more of it, and that's time. When you actually bring on somebody who is an expert in the area, you don't have to worry about going back and Googling and reading it or trying to take a certified course for it. You hire the individual that you want to bring on for that particular service for it. They know what they're doing. They've seen many different cases of things that can go wrong, so they know how to fix it. So the first biggest element of that is saving you time. The second thing is it saves you money. A lot of the clients, when they bring us on, especially like, for example, something like managed services, either physical service or cybersecurity type services, is that we actually come in and we actually are 1099 people. And the thing is that we can utilize or implement newer technology that the client may not be aware of. Because sometimes you don't know, if you don't know the right questions to ask, it's good to have an expert on staff, that's somebody who can actually say, hey, look, I see something different. You may want to consider this because this is the latest and greatest in technology. So I would say expertise, the time, the cost factor, those are some of the three biggest areas.
Great information. So explain to us, in what ways do IT managed services contribute to cost for small businesses compared to traditional IT support models that people have been used to in the past? Everything is so new and fresh with technology today and ChatGPT, but how can we be efficient with that?
I would go back and give a couple of different examples in that area. And I like to think about Ford Motor Company or any major automobile company. They make the automobiles, but there's something that they don't make. And that's, for example, like the tires. They don't make their own tires. They go to Goodyear, they go to Bridgestone or whatever company would be, and they buy those in large quantities, of course, and they actually do that. If you have an organization, especially an organization where you have multiple locations across their state or the region or even across the country, even for that matter, even across the world, if you're using a managed services company for it, you can actually do a couple of things with it. One, you can actually roll out consistency because you usually come up with some kind of a statement of work or some kind of a scope of work that you're looking for. And so everybody has to follow the same rules, policies, and procedures when they're doing it. So consistency would be one thing. The second thing would be standardization, because now that you know that your application, everybody's applying the same standards, the same version number, when you actually have to come back and actually provide maintenance or any kind of additional support, everybody has the same version. It makes it easier for a support person to get on the phone and say, okay, let's diagnose the problem. So those are two of the three. I guess the standardization, the consistency, and you actually have the same rules for all the different locations, and it makes it much easier to reduce your costs, to manage your efficiencies, because you know everybody else has the same equivalent of application.
Very good. And what specific challenges do small businesses face in managing their IT infrastructure? And how can managed services address some of these significant challenges?
Yeah, and I like the when I kind of slightly mentioned about one of the things, and I like to say you don't know what you don't know. So a challenge for a small business person, say, you know what, your job is to actually go out there and try to get additional sales to improve your intellectual property or do what you're really, really great at in order to take your business to the next level. So when it comes to managed services, I would have to go back and say one of the things that you really should use a managed services company for is to actually to apply like scalability. Use somebody who can actually come in with that expertise, who can actually allow you to focus on your core business, and you can and let those guys actually worry about taking care of whatever tweaks or maintenance or preventive maintenance or whatever else you have to apply to your system. So it really, to make it easier, to say it another way, would be it allows you to focus on your core business and not worry about the little things that could hamper your business.
Very, very good. How can managed services tailored for small businesses differ from those designed for larger enterprises?
It's actually the same kind of footprint, the same framework. For us, when we roll out, somebody will call us up and say, we need to have a job done. It doesn't matter if it's just one particular task or if it's 1,000. It's still the same thing that we focus on. I think the biggest advantage when you think about a small business is that it may not be as large, it may not be as a scale for it, but it's those little itty bitty things that can throw your system off. Those little details, it's the little nuances that if you got to really change your focus and change your concentration and try to focus on doing something, then it takes away time from doing something else. And so I think for small businesses, it is so much of an advantage to actually be able to let somebody else do it. Your time is so much more too valuable to focus on the little details, especially if you know enough to be dangerous with it. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Pay the experts, and then focus on how you can actually scale and increase your business.
Such words of wisdom. So many business owners struggle with that part of delegation and letting go. They fear investing that money to hire the expert. In actuality, they're spending more time, which is costing them more money. And the cycle just continues to go on and on. So such great words of wisdom there and advice. Thank you for sharing that with us, Maurice. Mm-hmm. So tell the audience, where can we find you?
Sure. So the easiest way is to actually email me or my staff at info@infinivate.com. Send an email over to us and we'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible, or give us a call at 346-366-4039. Make sure that's right. Yep, 4039. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We always look forward to having you on the show because you bring such significant value. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, it's international relations, where I have 10 years of living and working experience. Biden's knee-jerk reactions and World War III. Within hours of the conflict, Biden was sending more warships to Israel. Hamas and the Middle Eastern destitutes can't be eliminated with war. They are humans suffering. Huge resources committed to Ukraine and the Russian war, Chinese aggression in the Western Pacific, North Korea living in fear of nuclear annihilation. Our enemies around the world seek to draw us into regional conflicts to weaken our military. Quigley supports deep, sustainable engagement with all parties when possible. Food and sustainable prosperity prevents war. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com, donate what you can, join Team America, and together we will make it work for all of us.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
Welcome to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host today, Rachel Weaver, and I am excited to have with me today Nora Al-Masri. Nora is an agent with the IRS, the founder and CEO of Nora's Books, and an international best-selling author. With a master's degree in business information technology from DePaul University, she brings over 20 years of accounting experience to her work in managing and growing nonprofit organizations. Nora is known for her expertise in increasing nonprofit funding through the streamlined processes and regulatory compliance. In addition to her nonprofit work, she's dedicated to helping business owners achieve their financial goals. Nora, welcome to the show today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Rachel. Thank you so much.
So I am excited to talk to you today about nonprofits and some key pointers that you can share with us about getting started in forming a nonprofit or 501c3. And I know that there's a lot of organizations that wonder if they could be someone who's eligible. So how would I know if the business I've started is eligible to become a nonprofit?
So in terms of legal things, you have to start as a nonprofit corporation in order to be a nonprofit. But in terms of should you start a nonprofit or should you start a corporation? This is like where you want to see what's the purpose of the business. Is it just doing services for profit, for your personal interest, or are you trying to really serve a certain area, a certain demographic? How are you planning to serve them? What do you want to do actually like to serve them? How much are you expecting? Are you seeking fund from somewhere else, or are you planning to charge them, or what's exactly the purpose of the business? So this is where actually the business plan comes in. Speaking maybe to a coach, to someone to help you lie down like everything, the purpose, what do you want, speaking to an accountant to see exactly what's the tax implication, tax things from it. What does that entail? So you make sure to actually you start a right structure. So you don't start just an LLC or a corporation while you have to start a nonprofit, and vice versa. So you want to make sure to speak to an accountant and to a coach to see actually, or sometimes to a coach to see exactly what's the best structure for you. And also you want to consider the legal, so you want to actually talk to your attorney as well. But this comes from the beginning. So sometimes, like if you register as an LLC, you might have to actually register again for a new entity that's going to be a nonprofit.
Okay, so tell me then a little bit about the cost involved to forming and maintaining a nonprofit.
So yeah, just to start, actually, you have to always you have to give money to make money. Even with a nonprofit, you're making money. Like even though like it's not a personal interest, you're still like having a program and everything, and you still actually can pay yourself at certain points. But you need initial cost, you need the cost for registration. If you want to use like someone experienced who set you right, because you need to have a bylaws, you need to have conflict of interest policy, you need to have the registration fees on the state level, and every state has a different cost. So you have to check your state level. And then on the IRS level, you want to actually apply for the exempt status. And when you apply for the exempt status, there are two options. There are one option is when you do the 1023 easy, and the application fee for that is $275. The other one is when you do the 1023, which is the longer form, and the application fee for that $600. This is if you did it on your own, but I do not recommend that you do it on your own. I had a lot of people coming to my way saying we were rejected because this application might sound easy to fill, but I'm just filling an application. No, you have to be careful what you're putting down. You have to make sure you're doing everything correctly, because any simple mistake can cause that rejection. And now it's going to cost you more for someone to come and actually fix it for you. After that, you're going to go to do it on the state level. Sometimes like you have to go the attorney general on the state level. Some states they require more fees for that. So like just for the fees, you want to expect anywhere between at least 500 up to 1,500. It depends on the state. It depends on who you use. And if you want to use someone who does every single thing, do the bylaws, do everything, it's going to cost a lot more. But I don't advise you to actually cut in cost, because you're going to pay more later. And also, one thing I want to mention about 1023 easy and 1023, I don't really recommend people go for less than that 1023. To save just few hundreds, like a couple of hundreds, you don't want to actually do that easy, because when you start a nonprofit, you have all these energy and you want to do a lot of things. And if you actually put a limit for yourself doing the 1023 easy, where you cannot raise more than $50,000 for the first 3 years, it's going to actually demotivate you. So by the time those 3 years done, you're already not motivated as much as when you started a nonprofit. Don't set a limit for yourself. That's my individual opinion. Both options are there, but it's up to you.
Okay, very good. So that was a lot. I appreciate that so much. So tell me, I would love to know, what are some of the potential risks and liabilities associated with running a nonprofit?
A lot. So anyone who wants to get involved in any level with a nonprofit, whether you are doing the registration yourself or you actually being on the board, even like if you want to do accounting for them, anything that any involvement with a nonprofit can come to the risk. A lot of eyes are open from the IRS and from the state level to on the nonprofit, because you are doing part of what the government are supposed to do. You're helping the government, you're taking pre-tax money, so you are actually helping people on reducing the tax. So that tax should have gone to the government instead. So you should be doing everything by the book. You should have a capacity for your nonprofit, because people can go to jail if they are spending money not correctly. People can actually not having enough backups for what they're doing, documentation is not good, not having policies in place. All of that can cause the shutdown of the nonprofit, or sometimes it can go as bad as going to jail, and we want to stay out of jail.
For sure, for sure. So in terms of a nonprofit and making money, what are some ways that we legally can make money as a 501c3 or a nonprofit?
So there are various options. Like my favorite is actually raising fund from individual, identify ideal clients, ideal donors, and actually get them to trust you and donate to you. And that's my favorite way. And that's the more consistent and more this is the blood for your organization. Another way is getting grants from state, from corporation, from federal, but that's going to require more capacity. That's why you have to set up as actually successful nonprofit before you even can get to the good funding from them. You can actually sell something related to what your organization mission is. And you can also do unrelated, but you want to be careful when you do unrelated business income, selling something that is not related for your organization mission, you might have to pay taxes. So you want to be careful. You want to always work with an accountant who knows about nonprofit laws. So you also, people do auctions, events, but some options are, cost effective more than others. So if you go try to do gala from the beginning, you expect to have a lot of money spent upfront and not a lot of returns. So because you're going to have to cover for all the expenses. While if you really learned how to raise money from a strong donor base, that's going to be less cost for you. So it's going to be more cost effective.
That makes sense, and really good information to understand. I think also, wouldn't you suggest having that clear vision and a mission statement and a plan when forming your nonprofit to make sure it's something that, you want to set aside the time on? Is that correct?
Definitely. First, before you even start the registration, you have to get the education. And when I'm saying education, I don't mean like go talk to someone who started a nonprofit, just any nonprofit, because unfortunately, a majority of people don't really have that enough education to actually make them build a strong nonprofit. So you're right, Rachel, you have to get the education. You have to have a clear vision, a clear impact statement. Well, mission. I call it in my program impact statement, because you want to be very brief, concise, straight to the point, clear for you and for your team and for the donors, so you can actually talk to people right away, like in few seconds, just like an elevator pitch. And you don't not having that mission statement, that a paragraph no one can repeat unless like you're reading that from the website. That's not a good mission statement. You want to have that something short and sweet. You can say
it to the point, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for such valuable information. Please tell the audience where to find you.
You can go to my website, nourisbooks.com/contact. And you definitely, if you're interested in starting a nonprofit, or if you are there and struggling, you can either get to my actually coaching program or get my book from Amazon, How to Start, Manage, and Prosper with a Nonprofit. It can help you get started and get unstuck.
Well, thank you so much, Nora. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break. Thank you.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, we're going to talk about Republicans and obstructionism and big oil. You know, Reagan raised and lowered taxes. Reagan said he hated government, but that was rhetoric only. Conservatism and international trade killed America. You know, Republicans and big oil, they want dysfunction, extremism, and divisiveness. The USA can't survive without big government. You know, modern young Republican leaders totally misunderstand life in the jungle is short and brutal. Big oil and the wealthy want to stymie federal government. We must take care of all of our neighbors. Join Team America. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com. Donate what you can. Together, we will make it work for all of us.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver, and I am excited to have with me today Miss Alina Gonzalez-Thackeray. Alina is a seasoned legal professional from Lakeland, Florida, with over 23 years experience. She founded Life Law Planning to offer personalized services for growing families. She was raised by a Cuban refugee parents. She values family, community, and education, embodying these principles in her commitment to being a trusted advisor. Alina's career journey includes private practice in family law and executive roles at legal aid societies. Alina, it is such an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Hi, Rachel. I am thrilled to be here, and I am absolutely excited that we are going to be a little bit lighter today because, as your viewers may or may not know, I am the hostess of Purple Politics, also on NowMedia TV, which comes on Friday nights. And I love this role that I get to be because it turns off the legal mind. Well, I always have it on, but I get to go into all things politics, and whether it's right, whether it's left, or hey, how about some common sense? But I want to dive into something that I think will be fun, is this hysteria over Taylor Swift, the Kelsey-Taylor Swift relationship, and how the MAGA right are absolutely going insane with their conspiracy theories of psyops. Personally, I like Taylor. I like her music. I'm not a Swiftie fan like some, but I do like her and I respect everything that she's done. I know your daughter's a major Swiftie, and I would love to hear your take on this.
She sure is a major Swiftie. So I love Taylor. I think that people have been really hard on her recently, but she has worked very hard. In my opinion, she is a great role model for girls of all ages. I believe that she doesn't deserve some of the attack that's been coming her way. But yeah, I'm excited about this topic because, you know, there's always multiple sides to every story, right? Do I believe she deserves any of this political agenda that is being thrown her way? Absolutely not. Why are we doing this to someone who, you know, look, she's just like the rest of us. She's human. She's working her tail off. She seems like a superhero because, you know, in some ways she kind of is. She's definitely got some superpowers to be able to withhold some of what's happening right now. And why are we attacking her and her love life and bringing her into the political arena?
Well, it kind of goes to, well, first of all, because, let's set this to straight. There have been many, many mega star pop stars that have dated athletes. I mean, there was, let's remind the audience that Jessica Simpson, Tony Romo, I know that's a hard hit part in Dallas, especially because when he was Dallas Cowboys quarterback, they actually blamed all of the hoopla around their relationship because of Jessica Simpson for how poorly he played in the playoffs and such. But here we have a young lady that embodies really everything that supposedly the Republican Party is about, which I would argue the Republican Party of today is no longer the Ronald Reagan Republican Party. In that you have someone who is a self-made billionaire. So for those of you thinking she's with Travis because she needs the notoriety, because she wants the money, hello, Brett Favre, totally off. She makes over $1 billion on this tour alone. She is a huge family supporter. She loves her family. She's very respectful of Travis's family. Again, Travis, a big family guy. She is self-made. She is not raunchy. She doesn't have any drama that ensues from her behaviors. It's usually from attacks on other people, like Kim Kardashian and that time with Kanye West. But realistically, we need to put something in perspective to all of those that are, whether you identify as MAGA, you're conservative or liberal, Democrat, whatever. First of all, every citizen of the United States has a right to be able to support whomever they want. That is the beauty of this country. That is the beauty of what the founding fathers created when they were able to rebel against the United Kingdom and form the independence and form the Constitution of these United States of America. Secondly, Taylor is a registered independent. Whether she votes for Biden or whether she votes for Trump or whomever, that is her right. But all of this hoopla, all of this hysteria and these attacks, I mean, vilifying attacks by, we're talking Fox News, Sean Hannity. I will give it up. Clay and Buck actually called it out as this is ridiculousness. But she hasn't endorsed Biden this time around. She did say that she endorsed or she was going to vote for Biden in 2020. So let's stop making much ado about nothing. Let's celebrate a really cute couple. Let them have their time. Let her be supportive of a boyfriend that she seemingly loves. And let's put this MAGA craziness to bed because we have much more serious issues in the United States rather than Taylor and Travis being a PSYOP operative of George Soros, which again is ridiculous. I think you would agree with me.
A whole lot of ridiculousness. I absolutely agree with you. Just let them be them and live their lives. I think that, both parties and the conspiracy theories that we're reading on Twitter about what they're doing and how they support and the agenda behind making her a face in the political, if she wants that, allow her to come out and say she wants to get more into politics. Stop assuming and stop creating all of these conspiracy ideas and theories. That's my personal opinion.
That's why I wanted us to go light because we are dealing with such serious issues, especially in the political realm, which I'll go into more with immigration. You got this election. You have all these lawsuits that Trump is seemingly losing. But when we as American people, and I think it is Twitter gets a little crazy, and the news networks are fostering that craziness because of course it's clicks, it's ratings, things of that nature, and you and I are in the media business, so we understand that. But it goes back to the premise, and we've talked about this so many times. What is the common sense? So the common sense is we need to be focusing on what the serious issues are pertaining to the United States, how best to support the citizens, and what is right for all Americans, all United States of America citizens and their residents. because the bottom line is we do have some serious issues. We have a world that is very chaotic right now with all things going in the Middle East. We also have our border issues. We have our own educational systems that need reforms. Let's focus on that rather than who Travis and Taylor are kissing and what who they're going to vote for. When bottom line is, if you really care, it doesn't matter what the other person says, it's your individual vote. So, hey, Taylor, love you, respect you. And honestly, I'm waiting for you to come out with a book on how to create from going from nothing to something that is so big and brand. That is what I want to hear more about. And that goes into your business there, Rachel.
Yes, it does. It certainly does. I absolutely love that. Yes, I am fully in agreement with everything you said. And I just want to reel it back a quick second to what you originally had stated, the beauty of this country. And I know this goes back to your Purple Politics show, so be sure you all tune in to Alina's show. But the reality of the situation is I've lived in other countries across the globe, from Europe to Asia. I've lived in a communistic country. I've lived in, places where we didn't have as many rights as what we do here in this country. And that is such an eye-opening and awakening thing that a lot of people don't remember. They get so caught up in this country about their views, their opinion, when it's not even often factual, that they can't even see straight. And we have it so good here. We have it so good in terms of our freedoms to be able to choose. But we need to come together and stop with the fighting and the division.
Until you had the extremists. And that's the problem, is you have the most vocal, the most rabble-raising, cage-rattling people are the extremists. Whether you go on X, formerly known as Twitter, whether you listen to CNN, MSNBC, which I think MSNBC is actually a little bit more extreme than CNN currently, but even Fox News, Newsmax, and the talk radio, there is money being made here, because we got to recall this too. And I think this is something that everyone needs to realize. All of this is entertainment based. This is all for profit companies. So the more that they're able to stoke, the better for their ratings, the better for their marketing, things like that. The vast majority, I would say the vast majority of people, because I talk to friends of mine, and I have friends of mine that are progressive left. I have some that are Democrats, like traditional Democrats, in the middle, independent, or right to MAGA. Okay, I have the spectrum. And one of the things that I look at everyone and I'm like, should I hate you or do you hate me and no longer and want to eradicate our relationship, erase our relationship of, that we've had for many, many, many years based on the fact that we are now politically on opposite sides, or can we talk about it? And my friends, for the most part, say we should be able to talk about it because it's not a demonization. It is part of the political process. It is about having an opinion and learning from each other. Because are there some things that, let's say Trump and that far right conservative movement have points that I absolutely agree with? Absolutely. Are there some things that I agree with in the Democrat thing? Yes. And the reality is that is what is so great, because the vast majority of our country, of our citizens, are looking around going, stop the fighting, especially in Congress, or state level, legislative level. Stop the fighting of it's us against them. We hate you. We will not support you. That is not it, because the whole point of our elected officials is it's not drawing a line and go, oh, who can be more stubborn and be more tantrum and get more clicks. It is about governance, and governance is realizing, though you may come from Florida, which is deep red right now, thanks to DeSantis. I mean, he really did. He took Florida, which was formerly red, then turned purple, back to red. Those people here in Florida may have certain opinions, certain things. That's great. But what's good for here, or what you feel is right for here, You have people that are in a maybe purple state that need a little bit more moderation, or you have to take people from where they're at. But for our elected officials, stop the psychotic, crazy, it's us against them. It's, basically drawing a line in the sand and get to governance, because governance is how we propel forward. I'll be talking about later on my show about like the congressional tax form, which was bipartisan. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be having consensus. So that's one of my big pulls. But again, let's have a consensus about Taylor and Travis. No, Taylor is not ruining the